Grammy Award winner Darius Rucker. It's all right around the corner as the countdown continues.
Special Burger King paint scheme. Tony will join us shortly on the rig. But first, you can get some insight from that interview coming up on where to put Tony Stewart in your lineup when you play the $1 Million Fan Challenge. Do not miss a golden opportunity. You can win up to $1 million by going to NASCAR.com, choosing your lineup, and you can even change that lineup with up to 40 laps to go, or 40 laps rather, into the race. Here's something to factor in. Many drivers are driving their backup cars tonight, including Tony Stewart, because of incidents during 2 action-filled practice sessions on Thursday. How is this going to affect their chances? Well, our experts on pit road know the answer. For more on Denny Hamlin, as well as the pits that he'll cover, we'll send it now to Marty Snyder.
Well, Lindsay, all we do is win. That's become the slogan for this number 11 team. So much so that fans are now writing it on pit wall in front of Denny Hamlin's pits. But as you mentioned, if they're going to do that tonight, they have to come from the back of the pack after a happy hour incident. And the race car Denny's driving has not been on the racetrack since it was here in the Daytona 500 and finished 17th. But Mike Ford told me, I don't think we're going to have to use strategy to get up there. I think this car will be good enough to get to the front. My end of pit road, we'll be watching that 11 car and see how fast he can get to the front today. Let's head up pit road to Phil Parsons.
Marty, Kyle Busch was involved in 2 separate incidents during practice on Thursday. The first one relegated him to this backup car, a brand new car, never been on the racetrack. The second one took your guy out, Denny Hamlin, and that's why Denny had to go to a backup car. Kyle was able to emerge from that accident unscathed. He won this race 2 years ago, and he was leading about right there last year before contact with Tony Stewart took him out of the race. Matt Yoakum.
Phil, 6 months ago, Jimmy McMurray scored the biggest win of his career when he drove right here into Daytona's victory lane. He's trying to do something tonight that hasn't been done since Ronald Reagan's first term back in 1982 when Bobby Allison swept both cup races here at Daytona, the 500 and the Firecracker 400. McMurray, he's got a great section on pit road, which I'll have, but he's also got a great race car. Ralph, he quit practice early, just showing you how great that one car is going to be here tonight.
Yeah, he should be tough, Matt. And this is one of the pit stalls I'll be covering tonight, the 2004 champion, Kurt Busch. Now, believe it or not, in 10 years of racing in NASCAR Sprint Cup division, Kurt's never won a restrictor plate race. He's got 4 top 5 finishes here in the last few races at Daytona in July, and he's led more laps this season than any other driver. He's just hoping here tonight at Daytona, he leads the last one.
Speaking of favorites here at this race, Tony Stewart has a reputation for ruling the summer months. He has dominated at Daytona in July. The 3 times he's won this summer race, he's done it by starting from the front row. Tonight, he will try to muscle his way to the front in a backup car. Tony Stewart joins us now. Tony, I know that you didn't have an opportunity to get that car out on the track. How much of a challenge is that going to be for you tonight?
Really, it won't be too bad, other than the fact that we have to start at the back because we didn't get a lap in it. And the biggest thing is just going out the first run and figuring out how far the front end's traveling and for the splitter height. So there's a possibility the first stop may be a longer stop, and they'll, even if we don't feel it hitting, they may be jacking the car up and looking underneath at the splitter to see how we're traveling, and we may kind of take an extended pit stop there to make an adjustment on the Packers on the front. But other than that, I mean, it's the same car tonight that we won the race last year with. So at least it's been on the track. It's proven that there's nothing that we're worried about with it, really.
So people shouldn't worry if they see an extended pit stop.
No, there's not a problem at the beginning if that happens. So it's better to do it at the beginning than it is at the end. So it's kind of a blessing in disguise, I think. I'm kind of have mixed emotions about starting at the back with it, but when you don't know what it's going to do on the front end, and as sensitive as these cars are to travel on the front, it's probably better that we're backing out of the way. That way we don't get run over if something's not right off the get-go.
Tony, we were talking at the top of the show about whether it's February or July, how special it is to win at Daytona. And you have definitely visited victory lane here. I think the total's 15 times. You've won even an IROC race on the road course. You've won this race 3 times. I know you still want that Daytona 500, but this place has been special to Tony Stewart.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it's, any time that you go in any series to their biggest race and the biggest racetrack of the year, as far as popularity and how important this track is to our sport, it makes you want to win. It doesn't matter whether it's an IROC road course win or a nationwide win or cup win, it's big. So this is a pretty cool place to be in victory lane at, no matter what kind of car it's in.
We come here in February, we got a different plate, we got a wing. We come back in July. We got the spoiler. We got the bigger plate. And we got a racetrack that looks like it's bumpier than you know what. Yeah. And worn absolutely out. How much different is the July race for you guys compared to the February race? Explain that to the fans.
When February, you hear us talk a lot about handling of the cars, but it's a lot cooler temperature, and with the tracks sitting with cooler temperatures all year, that asphalt doesn't retain the heat in February that it does here in July. So even though we've got a cool night tonight, that surface temperature and the ground underneath the surface still has heat in it. So it makes the handling even that much more critical, and especially the last couple of years, it seems like, especially with the splitters and the bump stops on the front, this place is so sensitive to bumps. And you're not going to get around them. Yeah. There's nowhere you're going to drive on the racetrack and get around the bumps. You're going to have to go through them, so you got to make your car go through the bumps good. And it seems like every time we come back, this asphalt seems to just sag and settle more, and it just makes it rougher because of that.
You know, Tony, we go to Chicagoland Speedway next week, and 2 years ago that weekend, you made the announcement you were leaving Joe Gibbs Racing and going over there with Gene Haas, with Stuart Haas Racing. A year and a half into this driver ownership, a lot of accomplishments. Your season last year, both teams in the chase, and then finally you got that 39 car to victory lane at Phoenix earlier in the year.
Yeah, it's nice. It's we've done everything but win a championship now that's on the to-do list. So Ryan's got 3 poles. We got a pole this year. We've both been in victory lane, and we both got in the chase last year. So a lot to be proud of, I think, in a year and a half. I'm really, really proud of our organization and everybody at Stuart Haas Racing for all the hard work, and there's so many hours that are above and beyond what they're supposed to do during the week, but nobody complains. They come in and they do what they're supposed to do, and they're the guys that keep me pumped up, because they go in there and they do it right every time, and it just makes it fun when you come to the racetrack and when you got great cars.
You always heat up in the summer. Is your attitude good? I mean, do you feel like you're right on the cusp?
Well, especially after last week. I mean, last week's probably the best that my car's driven all year, so we've had a very slow start to the year and a disappointing start under my standards, but the last couple of weeks we've been going pretty well, actually. So I'm starting to feel like maybe we're coming into it, and we got a really good start to the first half of last year and fizzled off, and I'm hoping now it's just the opposite. We're kind of bad in the first half, and we're going to be strong the last half.
Coke Zero, what's the deal? Special race for you?
Awesome deal, man. CokeZero.com tonight. If you vote for your favorite driver, Coke family driver, and if they win the race, you get a chance to have a Coke Zero, but the highest finishing driver gets $10,000 to the charity of their choice. So CokeZero.com tonight, and it's a pretty cool deal. I mean, Coke really goes above and beyond with us as drivers, and really helps us out with our charities and foundations, and it's just one more way that Coca-Cola gives back to the communities.
Tony Stewart, thank you so much. Are these for us?
These are for you guys. I know you're going to be thirsty tonight.
I was going to say, yeah, we are. It's a little hot.
Thirsty.
All right, thanks, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
Best of luck tonight. Thousands upon thousands of fans bearing the heat, ready to watch the sparks fly. We're getting closer to 400 miles under the lights at Daytona.
You're watching Countdown to Green on TNT.
Welcome back to Countdown to Green from Daytona, where rain has really started to fall. We thought we were going to avoid it, but right now it is more than misting outside. Turning now from NASCAR to music for a minute. Some thought that singer Darius Rucker, formerly of Hootie and the Blowfish, was nuts to make the swap from rock to country, but he's hit a home run. He's one of the hottest country artists around. Tonight, he debuted his single Comeback Song to fans trackside at Daytona, and you watching on TNT.
I woke up again this morning, and when you know it, pouring rain, and I went and burned a pot of coffee, and like us I poured it down the drain, 'cause I didn't know I needed you so, and letting you go